3,150.9 kilometers. Woohoo!
Well, that was fairly smooth. Getting off the ferry this morning, of course, it's pitch black. Fortunately, that means that there's not too many people out of bed just yet, and it is, of course, a weekend, so that means it's even quieter through the streets of Geelong. However, it is freezing cold, and when I say freezing cold, it's icy cold. My fingers are already feeling the effects of these cold temperatures, and I thought Tasmania was going to be cold, but Tasmania's cold is nothing like this cold this morning. This is incredibly cold. It takes me back to my riding days, my commuting days from Lincoln City into Sheffield every day, and it wasn't until later years that I actually had some heated gloves, and they were a godsend. I didn't have heated grips. At the time I was commuting on an R1, and I didn't want to put heated grips on them because I always found I had some heated grips on a VFR and a CBR that I had in the past, but it only seemed to heat the underside, the palms, whereas the top of your hands were numbingly frozen. Riding through Scotland, or again in later years when I was commuting from Lincoln to Sheffield City, and it's almost sort of self-defeating purpose. You found yourself with nice toasty palms and then still sticking your hands under the hairdryer in the toilets to warm up the back of your hands. So but this is the very first time I have missed having heated something, because the temperature is incredible, and I don't have a temperature gauge on my motorcycle. I don't think, or not one that I've found anywhere, to see what the temperature actually is, but this is incredibly cold, and it's too early at the moment to kind of hunt out a cafe. I wouldn't know where to start either I wouldn't know where to start when it comes to Geelong, and I could have programmed it in, but I was hoping to get a bit further, maybe an hour, before we had to think about stopping, but I'm not sure we're going to make an hour, not in this cold. Anyway.
Baby ferns uncurling didn't ever abandon. With you I'm blessed. All at once in a dream, we are together. You could call it a vision or tether. All at once I can see it put back together. You could call it a vision or tether. All at once in a dream, we are together. You could call it a vision or a tether. All at once I can see it put back together. You could call it a vision. You could call it a vision. You could call it a vision.
Hi, number four. Number 4. Are we gonna stop? What? course, it's only 1 o'clock. Well, we made it to Mount Gambier, the motel, Mount Gambier Motel. Safe and sound, but very, very windy. Well, kids, we've come to the end of the road. We're leaving Mount Gambier, the motel Mount Gambier, which was less than $100. Pretty comfortable, I must say. Farmer Chris tucking in the key in the box, and it's a short hour ride to Narracourt this morning, where we will fill up with fuel. Always pretty sad to be ending a trip. This has been an extraordinary one. Still windy today, still blowing a gale. But I think that gale force winds are heading down to Tasmania, but as long as we all get home safely, that's the big thing. I'm trying to think of the highlights, but there have been so many highlights to this trip. Wonderful, good friends, great riding, incredible roads. Even though both Farmer Chris and myself dropped the bikes, which is extraordinarily unusual. Farmer Chris dropped his bike in a fuel station, and I dropped mine in that really steep car park in Launceston at the hotel. But you know what? These things happen. There isn't a bike rider around that hasn't dropped a bike at some point, and it's just a moment of lack of concentration and it's over. Anyway, here's some music. $150 since the last fill. Yeah. are we, Farmer Chris?
Narrow Court, the coffee house. A well-earned stop.
Where you going? We should have gone that way. What? We'll stay here. Where are you, Farmer Chris?
Back home. 3,150.9 kilometers. Woohoo!
If you enjoyed this video, please give us a big thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you in the next one.